What if I told you that artificial intelligence was going to be one of the major catalysts for this crypto bull run? Sound far-fetched? Well, that's why you've got to watch today's video through to the end. I'm going to explain why the AI build-out happening in the States is actually a net positive for crypto and why a massive alt season is already loading. If you're curious to find out more, like and subscribe, give me 10 minutes, and I'm going to break down this hidden connection. Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. What does AI have to do with crypto? What does it have to do with altcoins in particular? Well, it's not really about AI. It's about the build out that will enable AI to become a thing. Data centers, power grids, this is necessary for AI. And in the United States particularly, they have got to compete with China. That is a major strategic national defense concern for them. And so what this video is actually going to say is kind of that alt season is tied into national defense. Bear with me. And so what they have to do is get investment. They need money to build this out. What that's called is CapEx. CapEx stands for capital expenditure, and it's essentially investment into the manufacturing side. Right now, what we're seeing is an unprecedented surge in CapEx into the United States right now. It's been driving the AI stocks a lot higher. It's been driving tech stocks higher. And it's eventually going to drive crypto higher. And so I want you to listen to this clip. This is Anna Katrayan. She's global head of private banking at ING. She's going to break down just how much CapEx is coming in. I think you'll be shocked.
Today, companies are spending about half of their operating cash flow on CapEx. That's much more than it was.
Half?
About half of their operating cash flow on CapEx.
That sounds like a lot.
It's a lot, and it's more than double of what it was. However, there's still more. And more importantly, if companies want to go out there and raise AI CapEx related funds, there's ample capital out there.
Half of cash flow on CapEx. That's a big number. And it's not slowing down anytime soon. And what she's saying is that if they want to find more, if these AI companies who need this money want to find more capital, it's definitely out there. It's a key issue for the US right now. And there's another big player who recognizes this, actually Larry Fink, someone who's very well known in the crypto world. He's actually very bullish on RWA tokens. Maybe we'll do a video on that someday. He's going to talk about the amount of capital that needs to come into the US and why he's so excited about it. Have a listen to what he has to say.
We need to be focusing on how do we unlock this capital. We need to focus on how to build this out. This is why I love this AI build out, why I believe we need to be building out our grids, building all this out. This is the type of stuff that could power a 3% economy.
So we got to be building this out. Got to be building out the grids, got to be building out the data centers. This is the kind of stuff that can power a 3% economy. What he's talking about is 3% GDP. And that is an actual very important part of the connection to crypto. So have a look on your screen. Let's get into the charts. CapEx plans versus real GDP. You can see there's a very tight connection. As CapEx goes higher, GDP goes higher. As CapEx goes lower, GDP typically goes lower. Now, why do we care about GDP? Well, as GDP goes higher or lower, ISM follows. What the ISM is, if you're subscribed to this channel, we talk about this a lot. The ISM is a critical component to the business cycle, which is the expansion or the contraction of the economy. This plays an absolutely pivotal role in alt season. I do not think that we can have an alt season without the business cycle expanding and the ISM going higher. And if GDP goes higher, ISM goes higher, it stands to reason that I'm pretty excited to learn that the AI build-out is going to raise GDP. And so let's look at the connection between the ISM and the total three. That's basically the entire crypto market cap minus the top three. It's the altcoin market. And you can see that it's very closely correlated. As the ISM goes higher, shortly after, altcoins tend to go higher. When the ISM falls, shortly after, altcoins fall. And so it stands to reason that this time will be no different. And so if we're seeing investment into AI, this is raising GDP, it's raising the ISM, it's going to raise altcoins. This is the connection. And this is what I really want you guys to focus in on. Let's show it to you one different way. This is from Raul Paul, Julian Biddle over at Real Vision. ISM, the ETH BTC cross. And we know the path to alt season, right, guys? It's Bitcoin, then it's Ethereum. So once Ethereum starts to really outperform Bitcoin, then we go down to the large caps, then we have alt season. And so when you're looking at the ETH BTC valuation going higher as ISM goes higher, that's going to be the beginning of alt season. And then eventually it's going to be just shortly after we'll see the alts actually start to make their move. So this is what's important. And so have a look at how much CapEx is coming in. This is really bullish. You can see that month over month, we're seeing more investment into AI CapEx from S&P companies. And then we're also seeing from the top four tech companies, Meta, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, more and more investment into AI. This is something that is happening. This is a massive AI build out. It's going to change a lot, and it's going to send our bags, I'm pretty sure. And because aside from the business cycle driving altcoins higher, we are in a space that is gaining adoption, tremendous adoption, actually at twice the rate of the internet. This is another chart from Raul Paul and the gang over at Real Vision. You can see that the total amount of crypto users is double the amount of the total internet users during the same time frame. So we are growing at just about twice the rate of the internet. That is actually insane. And so when you consider that the ISM, as it goes higher, the business cycle goes higher, we see Bitcoin dominance falling year over year. When Bitcoin dominance goes down, that means alts do better. And so really, this is something that I look at a lot. And this is something we show a lot on this channel. This is logarithmic regression band. Can't say that word. This red line here is the trend rate of growth. And if you follow this to the end of the year, you'll see that it puts us at about a $5 trillion total market cap, okay? Typically, most of that is Bitcoin up until we see alt season. Then Bitcoin dominance falls, as we saw in that chart. As you can see, since the beginning of crypto, we break above this red line. We break above it, we go below it. Break above it, go below it. Break above it, go below it. Now we're just kind of hanging out. We're trending around. This is alt season. This is alt season. This massive period of outperformance is Bitcoin going crazy, and then Ethereum going crazy, and then alts eventually going crazy. What we've been seeing in the ISM is we have been seeing a period of stagnation. We haven't really seen the ISM do much at all. In fact, this is the longest period of sideways ISM in history, really, honestly. And it's due to the fact that the Fed had to keep rates higher for longer to deal with the COVID inflation that we saw. I got one more clip here, and this is really going to break down the connection between ISM and really the underperformance of low caps. This is Lori Calvasina. She's the head of U.S. equity strategy at RBC Capital Markets. She's going to break down this connection between ISM and small caps. Have a listen.
You're seeing jobs growth decelerating. ISM is stuck in a rut. Generally, you need to see those things moving up for small caps to outperform.
And so short but sweet, but what she's saying is that we're seeing jobs growth decelerating. We're seeing the ISM stuck in a rut. Like I said, the longest period of sideways chop at about 50, which is kind of the neutral point. We're not expanding, we're not contracting. We're stuck in a rut. And that is why small caps are underperforming. And so when this AI CapEx starts to really flow in, when we start to see more jobs, we see more construction of data centers, we see more construction of power grids, that is actually going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to create an economic upswing, just like Larry said, fueling a 3% GDP economy. And remember what happens when GDP goes higher, ISM goes higher. Remember what happens when ISM goes higher, altcoins do better. And so what happens eventually when this all starts to get into full swing is we break above this line. We break above this red line, and right up here is 10 trillion. That is a 10 trillion total crypto market cap. Going back to our Bitcoin dominance chart, once Bitcoin dominance falls, and as we head up into a $10 trillion total crypto market cap, not a prediction, but it stands to reason if you look at this chart, very bullish. That's a very bullish thing. So this is the connection. This is why AI will help fuel alt season, and it's kind of why almost alt season is tied into national security, because the US needs to do this. They need this investment into AI. They need to compete with China. And if this AI CapEx, this investment into the economy, into AI manufacturing, ends up lifting altcoins in the short run, couldn't you say the two are connected? I could, or at least I'd venture to say it. Anyways, on this channel, we're going to make all sorts of connections, the ones that you know and the ones you don't know, to help you stay bullish and to help you stay informed and convicted in this bull market. I believe that a massive alt season is in our future. I can't tell you when, but it's out there somewhere, and it's going to come to us eventually. And if you want to stay bullish as to why, stay up to date and maximally convicted, you got to like and subscribe down below. Let me a comment down below. Let me know if you've learned anything. As always, thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.